Welcome back to Goldenridge. Today we're building a rural trailer park, dropping in a new train station and bus line, and starting to fill out the framework of our latest mountain town. So let's get to work. All right, so here we are on the curviest road in our whole map. And just want to welcome everybody back. Thanks for all your likes and comments last time, and everyone who has subscribed since the last video. And if you're new, subscribing would be awesome. So yeah, here we are in our new little town area. I haven't really done anything since last time. I think all I really did actually was clean up this tunnel a little bit. If those of you who remember our tunnel struggles a handful of episodes ago, I kind of just grabbed, let's see, where is it? Just grabbed this node. I'm not going to do it now because I'll ruin everything, but grabbed that node and just kind of moved it back and forth. And this thing jumped up and down, and I just finally stopped when it was up. And that's how I did that. So I don't know if that's how you solve those tunnel issues, but I think with all the rocks and the trees, I think that looks like a pretty good tunnel. I'm not mad about that. So we're gonna roll with that for now. Today I want to do quite a few things. I want to get this town going. I started with a few businesses and a couple of homes here, really just to get some traffic moving. I don't know that all of this necessarily will stay. We also talked last time about this neighborhood, and we had a great suggestion to make this a bit of a trailer park type scenario. So I think I convert all these roads to dirt roads, and I think that's pretty cool. And then the other thing I definitely want to do is get a train station down. I realize that we've got this train coming in and running along, but we don't actually have a train station, and so we will need that. And there's a few places I'm thinking about, so we'll do that. But I think first things first, let's try to get just the basis of our actual town down so that we can get some movement going on when we look into other things. So I think we've got actually some good businesses in here. I love this grocery store looking thing here. We've got some fast food, some motels, some strip stuff, a little hotel here. So let's get some services in, and some schools and all that kind of stuff. So I think let's see, go with little police station, something small and rural like that. I think will work really well. We can kind of put that on the edge of town here. I think is nice. For fire, let's see. I feel like maybe we can tuck this kind of thing. Maybe it should be kind of central. I'm not sure that that's quite the right. This one looks pretty good actually, and I think maybe we put this guy kind of out here. This feels like an edge of town kind of fire thing. For hospital, just something kind of small. Probably downtown feels good for this. Maybe just even put this across from our police station, and then let's try some schools. Small elementary school, I think, should be good. Can kind of fit that. Let's see. Maybe tuck that back here. Maybe, or yeah, we can kind of just put this. I actually think right there will work. And that's another school. Let's see if we can get is there a small high school? Maybe we just kind of put those right there and stick with the similar kind of little school complex like we had over in our farm valley. So let's get some more roads in here. Just kind of fill this in with, let's get our contour lines on. And those are probably good. Just kind of fill in some of that. There's not going to be much to this town, but I do want to make sure we kind of have everything we're actually going to want. I think too, we're going to actually, I was thinking about this before. I think let's push this little hill down. Obviously I love as much contour as we can get, but I just think that's really kind of eating away at some some good area here that will be nice to be able to fill in and get stuff, not just everything on this total main road here. So we can kind of run this one into there like that, and oops, not sure if we need this. Kind of, actually that will work literally perfectly. And I have a thought about where that may or may not go. We're going to come back to that though, but let's get maybe one cross street in here. And I feel like that's pretty narrow. I just don't know if there's any, like, we can get a road in there, but is there really anywhere even to put any buildings? Maybe we can get a little bit of industrial in there. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Well, that's, I didn't realize that was down so much. Even with the contour lines, sometimes when the light is really flat, it can be tough to see kind of exactly. But I think if we just bring that over, kind of did like it down actually. Let's sink this back down a little bit here, and we can spread some of that out. So that's still going to be up a bit though. So I guess we want to go a little more down, something like that. There we go. And then we'll slope that down from our highway road. So right about here, we can just kind of get this coming in, and we'll smooth some of that out. And then let's just get like an alleyway here. And we can just kind of run some of this up like that. We can get some industrial. I think we'll need a little bit of kind of off the beaten path mechanic shops and car repair kind of stuff. So I think that is going to be a pretty good start there. And then I was thinking about building this out into some houses, but I think we're going to come back to that. I'm not sure if that is going to end up working the way I want, but yeah, let's see. I think we can maybe get another kind of little road situation happening here. This is a we've been really working in some odd shaped stuff lately, all kinds of valleys and tight areas, and it's certainly a fun challenge, but it does get tight and awkward pretty quick. Let's see if we can't reclaim some of this. I think we're also going to need to level a bunch of stuff out because you can see this is not all quite on the same thing. Although, now, you know, of course, I always talk about not having everything flat, so I take that back. Let's see if we can make this work with a little bit of elevation. But I think for here, let's bring this kind of in like that and see if we can't smooth that out a bit. Really, I just wanted to reclaim some of this land, and then we can take this back here and maybe even kind of work our way up here, and that way we can kind of ride that little bit of contour. Let's just go ahead and reconnect these so that we get a nice smooth looking thing. There we go. And yeah, now at least we're actually using that. So this is looking a little droopy, or not droopy, but it's just not quite keeping everything on the same level here. So let's go ahead and select a bunch of this stuff, and there we go. That's gonna, I think, do us quite a bit better here. And maybe we don't need that road, and this is looking a little crazy, so let's just kind of dig in there and smooth that out a bit. And same with over here. We'll go ahead and grab a bunch of this stuff. And there we go. Yeah, I mean, I like to keep the elevation, as I've said many times, but sometimes for little stuff like this, it just doesn't totally make sense. We're not doing some kind of crazy hillside thing. We just need to kind of make a little town. So, all right, we'll come back in and fill that all the way in later. Let's move over here and look at this idea for kind of a trailer park looking neighborhood here. So thanks to Curie Salad is the username. I think I said that right. Who suggested the trailer park, and also to look at the level 1 vanilla assets that perhaps might have a bit of a trailer park look, and I would agree. So that's going to be a really great suggestion. Yeah, let's see. Like some of these do look like kind of those detached trailer homes, especially this one. Oh man, so that one really does. Let's see if we put us on one. We want these kind of 3. Maybe it's just it's that one's not bad either, but that one and this one. Oh yeah, these look, man, great find in the assets to really get a unique looking area. So let's just kind of go through and we're just gonna kind of throw a bunch of these down. Just get these in here, kind of spread around, and kind of mix up where we put them. I feel like they shouldn't be too kind of close together. You kind of want them to have a little bit of space. It's not like a dense neighborhood, but enough that they kind of all have a little bit of room. And looks like we need to get some water and stuff. I think we're just disconnected there. So let's get that in. Connect there. Might as well run it up through this if we end up doing anything with that, and then we can just run that to there. And then for electricity, I think we're actually going to, I think for these little towns, I really like doing these poles above ground. I just don't know that they're running this stuff. I know it is underground here, but I think we're gonna put it above ground anyway, just because I think it's a good look for these little rural towns that, you know, maybe aren't spending the money to bury you know, this kind of stuff the way a bigger city might. So we can just kind of run these along here, and we'll keep these kind of just going along this road. And I think it definitely will work to have these come into there. So that should give us power. Yep, there it is. Great. All right, so this is homes in. I think this is going to be a real kind of dry, grassy looking area. So we're going to go back to this decal that I totally overuse, but also is awesome. So we're just going to get a lot of this in. It does kind of cover up some of the driveways, which is not necessarily what you want. So let's try and avoid. I do want these guys to have their little, you know, actual little driveway areas. I think helps. So we'll just move some of these around, and we can find other stuff to fill in the gaps. I just want this to do a bit of the legwork for kind of the overall look of this little area. And I like that some people have a little bit of grass, and it's just, you know, there's some variation, which is nice. So get some of those in like this. And kind of already, I think we can mix this, I think. Well, that's also going to go over. So we're just going to have to kind of weave some of these in between everything. And then we'll get some smaller decals to fill in between stuff. All right, I'm going to go through and get most of these decals in, and then we'll keep going. All right, well, I think that came out pretty good, actually. Yeah, got a number of varied houses, some different surfaces, some a little bigger than others, some a little more worn down than others. Just some empty spaces, I think, work. I got this little kind of community park area. You want to come over here and have a little barbecue. There's some, some soccer, little field here. Got your kind of community trash area. There's probably a little more detail in here that we can throw in, but overall, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. And I think from a little farther back too, it really is serving its purpose pretty well. I might throw in just a little bit of surface stuff, maybe up along this hill here, kind of get just some grass going on, and maybe over here a bit. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So yeah, I think we'll leave that for now. I might, like I said, I might come back and poke around here on my own time. But yeah, let's now. I want to talk about a train station because we are going to need a train station for this place, and I have a couple ideas. Let's see which one of them will work. So. Let's see, I want to go with kind of a small short station. You guys have roasted me for putting stations right on the main track, which I did not have any intention of doing here. But it is going to make it a little challenging to connect. So we could either put one here, which I think does make sense, but then, you know, how do we connect a road going both directions to all this? So do we just connect to the highway? That seems kind of lame. I was also thinking about here, but then where, you know, like where does the train track itself go? So I don't think that works. If we have the track, you know, we could have the track really come off and kind of come through town and around, but that doesn't feel super realistic necessarily. So the thing that I was thinking, I think, was to put it, let's see, I think it was it here? I looked at this a little earlier. Let's see. Or somewhere along here, basically, where our station can kind of live here. We got a pretty easy, you know, way to get the track to come off and come back on. We can run it really long, and then we could kind of have the road go underneath this and come out there. And I just think that is going to make the most sense. So let's go ahead and bring this down to our track level. And we might even scoot it over a little bit. And then let's convert this to a raised section. So replace 2-lane. Get that kind of running like that. And then let's go in here and flatten some of this out. It's a little more than a little farther down than I thought, but that's okay. We can get that all smoothed out. And then let's get our slower 2-lane highway. Well, we're gonna need a regular road running along this, so not an elevated section. Just kind of run it in there to give this something. And then to connect that, we'll use the 40-mile-an-hour 2-lane highway. And we are going to use our slope tool here. So we can kind of get this going up like that and kind of get this coming down on this side. Looks like we're already a little lower than I realized, so we're actually good on that. So we'll just smooth this out, and then let's see if we can't get a road basically coming out of this and up and over and down and around. So barring maybe some pillars on this, because that road is just kind of floating there, I think that's not looking bad. So let's just move this around a little bit so that I guess we should probably move this road. Is probably the easiest thing to move. Just to make sure we have the clearance we need. And I think let's also get our train track in here so that we can make sure we're given the space we need for that. So we'll smooth this out, and over here quite a bit. We want to get a nice smooth train line in here. So let's see, let's find our track and just kind of nice. Let's make sure we're not sunk in. Looks like our track overall is a little bit. Let's actually go ahead and replace this, because this looks like it's got kind of that sunken track in it, which we don't want. I think because I didn't flatten this land first. So we'll go ahead and do that and get our train station back in. There we go. It's already looking better. And then we'll get our track. And just let it connect right about there. And on the other side, same thing. And let that kind of run like that. So now we've got a nice long bypass track, nice and smooth. And then we'll go back up here and grab our highway. And let's see, right here, I guess it is 4 lane or 3 lane, but that's actually about where we're going to transition from that. So that is good. And we'll just kind of like bring this around. I want to get the bridge nice and straight. And let's actually get rid of that and make this a little bit smoother into there. So that, I think, other than this big hump, I think that is looking much better. So let's just grab some nodes. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of just grab all these so that they're. Oh, and I let go of shift. That hurts. All right, so we'll get all those. Object height. And all right, that looks terrible. And I think we can probably bring that down, actually. Not that far down, I guess. Or maybe not. Yeah, I guess we should go up. I forgot that this kind of brought the slope up a little bit, so we'll just have to bring that up a little to meet it, which is fine. And then let's just replace this with a ground piece so that we can get rid of. There we go. And we're going to redraw that because that gets all funky. But we'll carve our own bit in. And in and up and around. There we go. All right, so not sure why that's not connecting to electricity. You can even see that it literally is connecting to electricity. So, let's try maybe redrawing this road. Oh, I do know why. These custom. This is a custom highway road from Road Builder, and it does seem like the electricity when you turn on the. Or oh, this one doesn't. Oh, that's what it was. No, it doesn't actually have it. I think I did just water, so we'll just have to run around, and down, and is that connected? Yes. All right, great. So now we've got our train station in. Let's go ahead and kind of get some of this landscape looking a little bit better. There we go. And oh, I did want to, I think, get like some sort of parking area. So I think we can actually push this back a bit. So we'll just take a little bit of this area, but then I think this we can try to get a little natural looking cliff on. I think as long as it's not just like a straight thing, cliff, you know, it ends up looking a little bit more realistic, especially once we get rid of all of these bushes growing on the rock face, which is always like the biggest cliff immersion killer for me. So we'll get some detail in there at some point. And then let's kind of just clear this area out a bit so we can kind of get our own in. And I think probably we should also reclaim a little of this, and let's get a roundabout or a cul-de-sac here on the end. And I think that will work pretty well for there. Maybe take a little more of this back so that then we can kind of help get that in there. And yeah, so now, you know, I think it's we'll get some buses running or whatever, but I think this is going to be the most kind of realistic way to get a train line into this town at this point. I maybe should have, I don't know if the train, like, you could have a whole other track coming around here, but that just seems like, if you think about it realistically, seems like a whole lot of track laying just to, you know, people can make their way to the station. So I think that will work for that. All right, so let's get some of our parking here. I think we'll use. Actually, let's use some actual parking lots, maybe. Probably, yeah, perfect. We can just kind of lay these in here, and maybe get. Is there kind of a? We'll leave that area for some service stuff, some train service stuff. Just kind of bring this down in there a little bit. I think that is going to work pretty well. The road is looking good. All right, so yeah, now let's. I'm going to go through town here and just drop some more of town into town. Yep, said it. Okay. pretty good looking little town center here. A mixture of different kinds of homes, and we got some row houses. We got some newer homes. We got this little new apartment development here. Lots of traffic. People are moving in. Traffic coming down the Emerson Highway is looking good. Yeah, so I think that is really feeling nice. And this area again is looking good. Let's get ourselves an actual train line in here. So we'll go with a passenger line. And there already is a line here, so we're just gonna go ahead and pull that over so that that's running through, and that's probably about all we need for that. This, I think, Coastal Valley, Interstate. I guess we should probably take this one in here too. And those are probably cargo lanes, I'm guessing. Yeah, as soon as you grab the cargo tool. So great, we've got that going on. Let's while some people move in, this is all going to mostly be a lot of homes, so we can kind of get to that later. But I do want to detail this guy up a little bit before we call it a day. So for detail here, I don't think we're going to do anything too crazy. Just want to kind of get some of the landscape looking a little more intentional. Just kind of smooth some of that out, and looks like we've got... Oh, we are going to need some buses here, actually. So let's go ahead and make that happen. Is there... Oh, let's see. More bus. Here we go. Bus stop, station. We don't have a smaller bus depot, unfortunately. This just feels like a lot for this town. But I know that they do route some of these buses to other towns. I've seen them kind of drive. So it's not the most efficient or whatever, but at least it'll cut down on this insane use of cabs, hopefully. But that's okay. This kind of contributes to this kind of more industrial side of town look a little bit. So let's also get in I think this bus station we can put kind of downtown. Can we kind of fit it in? I think we can. Let's mix up some of these houses. I just kind of like this being kind of behind the main strip here. Oops. So let's go back to our homes, and we're going to go 3 deep. We're going to go back to the vanilla, and yeah, we can have a couple of kind of those trailer homes here, and we'll go 2 wide and as deep as we want. 2 by 5. Oh man, perfect. Great, so we've got our bus station in there. So let's get some stops going. Bus. The one with the shelter. You know, we want North American bus shelter. So I guess let's get a stop. You know, probably out here. Oh, can we not put one on that road? Looks like we cannot. So how do we make it this bus still? Like, we might actually have to do kind of like a dedicated little bus loop over here, actually. So let's see. Yeah, we won't put that over here. So we'll just kind of get this kind of thing in, and then we can put a bus stop. Oh, but of course we can't do it on. Weird that you can't put a bus stop on an alleyway. I don't quite get why that is, but we'll just have to make this side of it have sidewalks. I guess because the bus stop actually goes on the sidewalk probably is why you can't. Don't you love answering a question, your own question, to yourself 3 seconds after asking it? That's... I don't think we actually need... I mean, how many stops is that, I guess? I mean, we only need to use one, though, I suppose. There's 2 there. Oh, but they pull in. That's fine. So let's... This is all looking a little elevated. There we go. And we'll just kind of flatten around here and smooth it back. And yes, you'll need... I don't know exactly why you need water and sewage lines, but you know, whatever you need, I guess. So we'll get those things in, and then we'll get you underground power. And all right, so let's get some more bus lines. And we've got our main stop there, but we should probably get a stop, a little rural stop about here and there, kind of going out of town. Get a couple here, and certainly by the school. And I guess we'll call it here as well. And then we just need the one, I suppose, here at our train station. So let's see if we can't make this make sense. We should be able to just get a nice clean loop. So this guy. And then back here. And to there. Schools. Oh, so we missed that entirely, but I think we can drag. We should be able to just go like that. So if this bus is coming out, it goes around. We'll need it just to come back like that. There we go. And maybe we also get a couple of bus stops in. Let's see, just out here, just cause it's already running right by. Might as well. I mean, if we really only need the one bus line probably out here. Let's go ahead and just kind of, let's get a little bit of a less blue looking thing. And how many buses do we have on that line? We don't need a ton. We're gonna go, let's go down to 4 is probably fine. All right, and then let's also probably should get a post office in here, I think. This is definitely a town that's gonna need post services being this far out. So we'll get that in. And then we should probably also give the people some internet. Kind of wish you didn't need to run a road all the way to the internet. I get why, but I also just kind of wish you didn't necessarily. But let's take a look at making sure we're getting this in a good place of coverage so that everybody, I don't want to like to not do the big one, although it does kind of cover the whole area, so maybe we should. We can probably run a road. I don't know, it's a little steep, but this does feel like where something like this would be. Maybe we can get it off to the side a little, like that. And I think, is that gonna get us enough coverage here? Yeah, I mean, that's really doing a lot. So yeah, we'll do that, and we just get a road. We'll just get a road going up there. So we'll probably go with the slope tool here. I've learned my lesson. So let's give ourselves just a little bit of a platform up here. And then grab this guy, and I guess we're going to try to connect to here. So we'll start here and go to about there and see if we can't. Start up there and then kind of turn our strength up a little bit, and I mean, that is looking a little weird. Let's try getting a road. I think we'll just use the alleyway so we can kind of keep it as low key as possible. We'll start with, I guess there already is parking, so we don't need the parking road. But we'll just get this kind of going across there, and not a one-way. And I'm gonna turn snapping off and just kind of I think these percentages are out of control steep. So that's not particularly great. But I don't know if I care for this. Like, does it look insane? It does. It looks completely insane. Yikes. I mean, obviously, we're not going to leave it like that. Man, these, I think I'm fairly decent at some stuff in this game. I'm happy with a lot of the stuff I do. These kind of roads, not really maybe my jam so much, as it turns out. I think it's also, I have a lot of patience for stuff with this game, but it does appear that this maybe is not one of them. Or maybe I'm just building them in the wrong place. Like, maybe this is just an insane place to try to make a road, or I'm not going about it, the right way. I'm sure all of those things are true. I don't know in this particular case, because this road is literally just so that we can have internet for these people. It's not the main thoroughfare that people are taking to get here. I don't know if I care. Is that bad? Is it bad that I don't care? I mean, I'm going to make this a little better because it is really ridiculous, but it just doesn't even look good from up here, like just the shape of it. But the steepness, I think I'm okay with. So, sue me or forgive me or tough luck. Yikes. I don't know. And then we'll just connect our electricity to that. And all right, we have electricity, and we have a post office. So I guess we'll get to some detailing next time. I think it was good to get the local bus service in and get some internet for the whole region. Plus, having a tower on these big mountains just looks right. So, thanks so much for watching, and we'll finish this town up next time, and we'll see where maybe where is it? This road decides to go. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate everything, and we'll see you next time. Bye.